it comes down to what are you comfortable with as trustees, as the local elected officials who will have to decide at some point whether or not to put something on the ballot. How do you want to plan?
And this is something, I don't know that we have to make this decision tonight.
Oh, no.
I think that what we need to do is to take this information and really give it some thought, and even if we need to have a committee of the whole meeting where we want to sit and talk about this and how we want to proceed with this, that might be a way we would want to go. So
Well, and I
this
don't
is just
wonder if
open
after
this
that
door.
meeting next Thursday morning, if we might have a little more guidance in this process, hearing from how others have done it,
Right.
the types
and
of plans that they put
Yeah.
out.
Crystal, we can get that guy from that.
John Sharetska, yes. Every library. John Sharetska, he used to work for the American Library Association. He's actually local here to Plainfield area. And he heads up a nonprofit called Every Library that helps support libraries during referenda and tax question ballot measures. And he has offered to come and talk to you all. We were kind of targeting October. Yeah, October, November for him to come in and talk to the board. We've also had an offer from an architect, Portage Clark, that works with a lot of libraries, that they would be willing to work with us on a kind of fresh eyes look at our property and what is possible as far as, you know, how many square feet do you think you could actually put on there? And they have offered some, some complimentary trial, try 'em out services.
So I just think this is just opening the door
Mhm.
to what we need to be thinking about, where we're going to go.
And I did give you planning timelines for both spring, that would be March 15th of 2016, and fall, November 8th of 2016. I very deliberately did not give the 2015 option because we really should have started planning already if we were going in 2015. So,
One question that I have about that
mhm.
is, I'm sure there's political strategy of whether you want to take it to a spring election or a fall election. So after this, I'd be interested to hear from you what they say about that.
And the last time we had the consultants in, there was a lot of, they gave us outlines of what pros and cons of both of those, and it's kind of interesting what can happen.
In general, the referendum strategists tend to advise libraries to go during presidential elections because you tend to have a higher voter turnout.
Not 11%.
I was
Like we
actually
did.
thinking the other way might go for you, because you only get a small segment of the voters.
In labor than no votes.
Yeah.
I think, and that comes then with your strategy to get out your voters.
But this won't be a local
Exactly.
election
You have to get out the
versus
effort.
a presidential, this will be a primary
Mhm.
versus.
Which is a little bit
Because
different.
our next locals will be 2015.
Yeah.
The general way that they present it is that people who vote yes for libraries tend to skew younger and more liberal. And people who vote against libraries tend to skew more conservative and older. And you get a larger population of your younger, more liberal voters vote once every 4 years.
Yeah, well, that doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
So,
That's the way that they generally explain it. you know,
But that's
but-
part of our job,
Mhm.
is to change that skew.
Right.
Well, and to have a feel for our own
Yeah,
community.
that's
and
right.
what's going to resonate here.
I was particularly impressed with the list of questions that was indicated in terms of critical questions they will be addressing. Because I think that that has a lot of merit in terms of exactly what do we need to know.
Like number 2, what homework needs to be completed before deciding to place a bond or tax levy measure on the ballot?
Right.
That's Exactly, yes. Well, and those are exactly the questions that come down to your comfort level as the local elected officials. What information do we need to make sure that we gather to give you the best possible information so that we can ensure that whatever's put before our voters is the right plan for this community?
I don't know if it would be something that you could at least give them an idea of what data do we have already, Julie, from the previous time that might be available if they were interested in,
Do they be?
for the next, our board members.
Oh, okay.
Just our board members who were not part of the group in 2008, 9.
Are those all still
Are
on
they on
the
the board
secure
site?
site?
I was gonna say, I think it's on the secure site.
If they're still on the secure site, then we can
They're
just,
still on
go
the
and check those
secure
out.
site. The space needs analysis and the building program from the 2009 election, I believe, are both still there. I think we may have taken down the schematic designs of the building itself, but if you'd like to see those, I can show them to you. I highly doubt we would trot out that plan, yeah. On the architectural side, that's not it.
Well, and I think even our trip to the different libraries, I mean, the whole, and that was what we were all worried about at that time. Were we doing the things that technology was going to bring to us? And like you said, that space, that shared space, that ability. When you go to Arlington Heights and you see this huge open room, and you wonder, whoa, but it works. And you know, that's,
Yeah.
you know, there aren't any little fancy nooks and crannies. It's all open, and it really made an outstanding working condition that they can shift and change.
So they have an entire level of group study,
Yeah.
individual study rooms.
Upstairs.
well, our split level design, I think it came loud and clear. We would not
Raised
look for
ranch.
this. Yeah, we would not look for this split level design again.
No, not a functional library. And Lance is begging you all for an actual loading dock and,
That's,
yeah.
so there's a lot of those kinds of things. And that's one of the things we talked about in each one of those libraries.
Right.
About their loading docks. So this is an information only item
Right.
this evening, unless somebody has a specific, or really is gung-ho to go on this.
So we're gonna meet to discuss.
Well,
Pat and I are already scheduled to go to that meeting on the 28th. Anybody else who is able?
Just check with Debbie to see if I can still get registered for it, because that morning has.
the 28th, that's
Open
Thursday,
Yeah.
that's next Thursday.
Excellent, excellent. They had sent out a.
I know, and I think I was gone when.
They had sent out
There
a
was that
confirmation
meeting on
that said there
vacation.
was still space,
Was
so.
there?
Okay, I
There,
think I
as
had
of
to go
a
too.
couple of days ago, they had sent one out, so I will make sure that we get you on there.
Great.
That would
Anyone
be great.
else?
But,
Okay.
Maybe we can consider.
No, too many.
Too
Too many.
Oh, we
Too
can't.
many.
Okay.
Too many, Oma.
Oh, that's right, I'm thinking,
Too many, we're a meeting.
Yeah, yeah.
So we can do 3?
No, actually, you can do 2.
Oh, that's right, because 3 is a.
3 is a
Carl-
majority of
Carl,
quorum.
then you and Pat, that's fine. If you're
Okay.
able to go, that's
Okay.
fine. I'll just pout.
If you can sleep in at 7:30 in the morning,
We'll take
you
good
might not
notes.
pout so much.
There would never be a time in my house that I would be able to sleep. We are not going to discuss that.
Maybe, too, we can consider touching base with John
Mm-hmm.
and see if we can get on his calendar
For October
in
sometime.
October, November. I don't know if it's something you want
I
to
will
do during the
confirm
board
with him.
meeting or if you want.
I think a special
Informational.
meeting, I think,
Good committee of the whole.
Yeah, I think the
committee of the whole,
Special
yeah.
presenter.
Mhm.
It used to work well for us.
I would appreciate it to be November.
November after the election, preferably?
All right.
What is that, the 6th or later, or is the,
The-
what's the actual
the
date of?
fourth. That's November 4th.
The 5th or later, okay.
I'll probably be comatose on the 5th.
Okay.
So you're right, the 6th or later.
Okay, does that satisfy everybody's?
I guess then we just maybe get some dates that he's available. and-
Yes.
See what we can do.
And we can work with
And
that.
and
Work
that
around,
will be
yeah.
a good time for us to really
I think it's, yeah.
have
It's
someone here,
time.
but maybe
Time
some
to start
time,
talking.
maybe a time when we're going to meet and that he would come into the meeting, because I think we have some things to do ourselves.
Yes.
Before,
Yes.
Yeah, so.
And one of the things to note on all those draft timelines is that selection of consultants, architects, et cetera, precedes any of those timelines that I gave you. So you have to remember that actually vetting those individuals and interviewing and selecting. Mhm. So there's probably another 6 months lead time from either of those.
Okay, I would ask you three young people, tell me something you learned. Let's start with you. Or that you found interesting. You didn't even have to learn.
It's impromptu.
You guys were talking about adding, space to the library.
Do you come to the library often?
Oh, not anymore.
Not anymore? Okay.
We do it online.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
the ebooks.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like the animal one where they present you guys like
You like that?
You like to save our pets, and that was something that was a great community involvement, and that's one of our missions is to become a part of this community and to be a leader in the community things. So, how about you?
I like how you guys talked about the Plainfield Fest, about like making it better,
Okay.
because I think it's a lot of fun.
Well, thank you. That's another community.
Partnering.
Yeah. And is there anything else from anyone at the table?
I know we adjourn.
Oh, that'd be fine.
We do not do that.
We
Nope.
did not have an executive. I didn't even ask.
Right, why?
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
And
thank
I
you.
will sign whatever you need signed.
I can sign
Who could tell that Mrs. Kinley needs to be a teacher?
Carl,